Does Trump's sheer ineptitude to articulate basic Christian tenets that he displayed in Iowa last week ever begin to hurt him with evangelicals? How has the GOP gone from George W. Bush, who shamelessly exploited religion at every turn, to Donald Trump, who can't even recall asking for God's forgiveness? I find it to be a step beyond politics making strange bedfellows. Look.
He's not a loser.
The bottom line is he may not get those evangelicals. Some quadrant of evangelicals. But the fact is that a lot of the fundamentalist movement is driven by stuff that isn't necessarily religious per se, but broader principles of authoritarianism, broader principles of like showing strength and confidence. I mean, it's just they respond to the fact, and you know, there's also a lot of them, I think, who their fundamentalism is mixed up with a lot of other stuff. I mean, I'm not convinced that some of his fundamentalist support doesn't come from the fact of his birtherism and his money. Because really, would God reward someone who was not worthy with money? I mean, this is the problem, is that Donald Trump is protected by everything that the Republican Party has been espousing for years. If you are morally inferior because you are poor, and you need some type of moral help so that you can remain and maintain some dignity, well, the flip side of that is, if you are worth $9 billion, then you must be a moral man. In fact, you must have billions times more morality than your average Joe on the street. If you have that much success, that Lindsey Graham is both prostrating himself in front of you to get your number to help you out with Fox and Friends, surely you're a great man who is blessed in the eyes of God. Why would God do anything different? I mean, look, if God is going to have us attacked on 9/11 or have New Orleans put under water because of sin and unchristianness, well, the guy who has billions of dollars and beautiful hotels and as many wives as he apparently wants and whatever it is, young women, and he's loved by everybody, even those people that he can beat to the Chinese love him, even though he tears them apart. Surely this is God.
A bit Christ. Well, yeah. God.
Like,
not
basically,
really Christ-like, more just like God.
God has just said, like,
dude,
this guy is...
His middle name is Jay.
He's deserved it. He's deserved
That's
it.
when God's basically, look, if there is anybody like me on earth, it's this guy. I don't know how many more examples I could give you.
This,
okay?
I mean, this is the thing. This is why Trump is so bulletproof.
He's arbitrary. He's a dick.
Right.
He lives in a high skyline.
His answers to any question are really simplistic.
Right. And if you don't follow him, you're a loser.
I mean, you guys have read my book, right?
And understand.
This is God speaking.
This is what's also amazing, is that, I mean, and this is part of the reason why I'm convinced why I was convinced that he would become part of this race, and why I'm convinced that he decided to become part of this race. Think about for how long there's going to be 10 people in the Republican debates, right? Okay, so a half dozen people can drop out, and there's still 10 people in the Republican debates. Even if there was an inclination by one of these Republican candidates to go deep into the weeds of policy, right? I mean, because you just imagine, like, compare and contrast what the Democratic debate is going to sound like. Like, they're going to, like, Bernie Sanders and Hillary. Yeah, Hillary's smart. Yeah. And Lincoln Chafee, for that matter, and Jim Webb. They're going to go deep into, you're going to hear facts and figures.
They're all intelligent people.
They're all intelligent people, but they're all, like, they're going to try and show their bona fides by going deep into policy. Even if, in the incredibly unlikely chance of a Republican wanting to do that, they're not going to have time. I mean, there's going to be 10 people in the Republican debates until probably the thing is over. They're all going to have 6 minutes per debate. Per debate, not per time. 6 minutes per debate. Who's going to excel at that? I mean, it's just like it's like they built the Iron Throne and took Donald Trump's measurements. And then when he decided to actually sit in it, they're like, wait, what? No, we just took your measurements. We just took your measurements because you're the perfect fit.
That actually right there, Game of Thrones. Which Game of Thrones character is which Republican candidate? That's a pretty good game.
There you go.
I think Donald Trump is kind of the first king, the one that died in the hunting accident in the first season. Robert Baratheon.